Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, I just want to talk about how we took this player on the left in the left picture. This was at the beginning of our hitting session to the player on the right. You can obviously see some major differences here. Number one, on the left side, he's pushing his hands and he's pushing into that front side pretty hard. And in the other picture, you can see he's almost more pulley, he's almost more turny. He's anchored on that back leg. We're not pushing into the front side quite as much. So I really just wanted to get on here and kind of share what we did and a little bit about what his routine is. I like to really dive into routines because a lot of times there's pros and cons to drills that players do. A lot of times they'll overdo a certain drill or their intention is on the wrong cue or on the wrong feel or on the wrong thing during the drill work. And a lot of times it accidentally leads to bad habits. So, one thing specific about this player, he did a lot of one-hand drills. There's a ton of professional coaches and professional players that love one-hand drills. It's fine. It's the drill itself is never typically an issue. A drill can be good or bad, right? However, if you don't understand the pros and the cons of a drill, then sometimes we can just get in bad habits. So that drill can create problems. And so doesn't mean that drill specifically is maybe creating a problem with this one. This is me hypothesizing, but I believe that the one-handed work is making this player kind of force his hands and pushing his hands. Now, another thing is this player struggled a bit to control his stride move. So a lot of times as athletes, when we have an issue, we kind of improvise. We problem solve on our own. However, many times, even when we're improvising, we don't necessarily know. We do it subconsciously. We don't know the reason we're doing it. So this player specifically is very wide, very wide. He went wide. He went wider with his stance simply because he wasn't controlling his stride well enough. So I just kind of wanted to give you some background on this player and what we were working with. And so that a lot of the things that we're doing, talking about throughout this and showing video of will make a lot more sense when you know that I believe he's pushing his hands a lot of times because he's doing top work drill or doing top hand, bottom hand drill work. And I believe he's gone to a wider stance because he's not controlling his stride very well. He hasn't become effective at controlling his stride move and landing into a soft front foot. So all the training we did was around turning deeper, less pushing the hands, and less pushing to the front side. These first two swings here are just so that I can get an eye on his swing. I haven't seen this player in a while. You can see the wideness that I'm talking about. You can see here, to get started, we're working on deep tee. We're putting that tee back on the point, deep in our stance, back hip possibly in our stance. The reason we are doing this is because when the tee is that deep in our stance, it forces us to turn the barrel sooner. It makes sure that we can't outrun that baseball with our hands, our head, or with our stride, because if we outrun it with our stride, then we've put ourselves in such an uncomfortable position that we can't hit that baseball. Now, when we're doing deep tee like this, all we're trying to do is hit a line drive into the opposite side dugout, about head high. And what this is doing is, like I said, it's forcing us to turn sooner, turn in our rear leg, and turn our barrel around our hands much sooner rather than pushing. Next, we added in some no stride, split grip, just a small split grip, and really focused on that early bat path and that early connection to that back shoulder. Next, we're working on yoga block float. This is my favorite drill for players who struggle to control their stride. The yoga block may look funny, but when players put their front foot up on the yoga block, it presets their back leg, their rear leg to stay inner part of their back leg, also kind of loading their glute. And the goal is to hold that tension there and ride it out as you stride, okay? So it's almost like, obviously you're making a move at the pitcher, but it's a resisted stride move forward. And a lot of times this helps players really get the feel that we're looking for and implement it into their swing. And now, as I was talking about earlier in the video, this player went wide because subconsciously as an athlete, he knew that he could put more barrels on the ball. But a lot of times what we do accidentally is we put ourselves in more defensive positions than offensive positions. So we kept this player wide because I like keeping people in their personality, but not as wide. And we created a move off of the yoga block that we wanted to emulate in his game swing. So more of a move towards the plate and then striding out, but a move that we could be on time and early for fastball and still adjust and react to everything else. The goal is to be ready at release and then be able to hold that tension in that back rear leg as long as you can, long enough to at least hit off speed. Now you can see we're just taking some normal BP. All the drills clearly have a purpose. You can see all the transitions and stuff that we worked on prior to this BP session. You can see the player a little bit slightly more narrow, his stride almost towards the plate and then striding out. So that move almost helps the player coil without thinking about coiling. It also helps him hold his move a little bit better. You can see him turning the barrel a lot better and turning more behind and on that back hip and not pushing into that front side.
That's it.
Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. You can find me on all socials at Keenan Lock Baseball. If you guys have any questions, if you guys want to work with me online, remotely, please send me a message. Thanks.